First, I'd like to welcome everybody here to the Maritime Center for this signing of a friendship pact between the town of Scituate and the County of Cork, West Cork Municipal District. First, I'd like to introduce fellow Board of Selectmen, John Daniel. You already ran, you're good.
Marty's referencing my, can everybody hear me? No. Is this, John, that's not a problem, right? Marty's probably referencing my recent re-election, former, but it went the right way. Welcome, and thank you. I wanted to start off by quoting a quick little paragraph by Bishop Fulton Sheen in his book, Life is Worth Living, which I think kind of captures kind of the essence of what the recent luncheon day and what our future is going to be. He wrote, quote, "I believe that on the last day when the good Lord comes in the clouds of heaven to judge the living and the dead, he will not show himself to all the peoples in just exactly the same way." He said, "I believe that each people will see him according to their own national and natural characteristics." He said, "I wonder when he comes if he will not see the Germans who love pomp and circumstance as a great king. And I wonder when he comes if he will not show himself to the Spaniards who love the beauty of religion, with his face shining as the sun and his garments white as snow. And he will come to the people of India who love mortification, showing scars in hands and feet and side. But to the Irish, he will show something he will show no other people. He will show them his gratitude for their humor. He will show them his smile." And I have to tell you that, you know what? It's been fun to sit and have some lunch and talk, because we're talking and having good humor, good fellowship and talking. This is something that we've been working on, and I want to give acknowledgement to the one person who actually put this on the rails to this signing, and that is Pat Jacquard. And Pat's right here, and I think people should approach him. This came about, now Pat actually, it's Patricia Donovan, if I'm not mistaken. McCarthy, I take that back, McCarthy, okay, which is Irish, and Jacquard is almost Irish. She and I were sitting outside a parish cafe about a year ago, or 2 years ago, and we were there with our sister city in France, Soucy-en-Brie. And I was talking to her saying, you know what, we look at our town and we have a lot of people here who are of Irish descent. And as we know, yes, in America, it's the most Irish town in America, but more importantly, it's the heritage and the fellowship and being able to do something that everybody in our community, Irish and those who are not of Irish descent, can enjoy. And that is the beauty of having another twin city with the county of Cork. And there's so much beauty, so much opportunity, whether you're talking about literary, whether you're talking about culinary, whether you're talking about music or sports, athleticism. We have a common denominator, and I think this experience, this partnership, if you will, between our mutual communities is going to mutually benefit all of us on both sides of the Atlantic. And I have to say I'm very proud and very honored to be here and see this come to fruition, because it's a great thing for our community, and we expect that it will be a great thing for your gentlemen's community also. So I want to say thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very proud as an Irish American. My family hails from Cork. I know there was some debate. Some people wanted to go to Kerry, and some people wanted to go over here in Derry, and I did not exert any influence whatsoever, but I will say I'm very honored to be able to say to my heritage and to my relatives that Cork it is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Next, I'd like to have Senator Patrick O'Connor to come up and say a few words, please.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you all for being here today. To the delegation, welcome to Scituate, and I hope you've enjoyed your time here since Sunday. This is something that's really special. Obviously, my family hails from Ireland, being named Patrick O'Connor. But I also lived over in Europe for 3 years, and I was able to travel Ireland quite extensively and to learn about the values that you hold very strong, the opinions that you're not afraid to speak, and your care for a lot of so many of the problems that are going on in the world, and I know that right here in Scituate, we hold those same values very strong, and this couldn't have been a better pairing, a better matching of really two very unique communities that share so many values in common. So I wanted to commemorate this day in the State Senate, so we had this officially read into the register today. And if Mayor, if you'd like to receive this, we have issued an official citation from the Massachusetts State Senate, that be it known that the Senate extends its congratulations to the Cork County Council in recognition of the signing of a sister city pact with the town of Scituate, a cultural and economic partnership fostering goodwill and friendship, and be it known that the Massachusetts Senate extends nothing but the best wishes to all of you and all of your future successes. Signed by the President of the Senate, Stanley C. Rosenberg, myself, Senator Patrick O'Connor, on this day, December 8th. Mayor, congratulations, and thank you, gentlemen, very much. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to welcome up Representative Jim Cantwell to say a few words, please.
Marty, thank you so very much, and thank you to everyone for putting this together. By the way, Patricia, by the way, as we heard referenced before by John Dennehy, that she put together a wonderful event last year, a little bit last year, right? When we had Sister City Susie Ambry that was here, and I got up at that time and I spoke in French. Yes. Nobody understood me. So today I'll speak in English. You won't understand me either. It's such a great honor to be here. And by the way, I was standing with the mayor here, Seamus, another James, Seamus and myself, and we were here with Declan, and we were discussing, as we were in the back just exchanging pleasantries and talking, we saw Marty had all kinds of notes, and all three of us said, this guy's got a prepared speech. Because none of us did. But you have the gift of gab. You have all been kissing the Blarney Stone, so we look forward to hearing. I will note, and I'm so glad you got to see the State House yesterday, and you got to stand where Jack Kennedy gave a famous speech when he talked about Massachusetts and our State House being a city upon a hill, and talked about how we should try to be a shining example to others, but always discussing his Irish heritage. And it's so thrilling to know that you were there standing in his same shoes, and the kind of friendship that you're bringing here to Scituate, where it is so appropriate. I would note, by the way, we had, not that long ago, the Prime Minister, Edna Kennedy, came to the State House. And people knowing where I represented, I was able to be there to greet him, which was just a great honor. So I stood in line, I was waiting for our joke that we use all the time, and he came up in line and I said, Mr. Prime Minister, my name is Jim Cantwell. And he says, Cantwell, from the Irish Riviera. And I was like, I said, he stole my line. But it was clear that he was so well prepared. I do want to note, too, that you are here. We had a ceremony that John Dennehy put together earlier this year, just to note the 100th anniversary of our Easter Rebellion, and to talk about the values that continue to be important to us throughout the world, about making sure we have proper representation for all people. So it's thrilling to be able to be here with each and every one of you to extend our good wishes also from the State House. Mr. Mayor, if I could call you up as well for a moment. I just have a citation here from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, from our State House of Representatives. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to the Cork County Council in recognition of today's signing of our Sister City Pact with the town of Scituate. So thrilled to have Marty here and John, who do such a tremendous job on behalf of the town of Scituate. You've already met with our town administrator as well. By the way, Trish asked me if I'd be singing. Be happy to sing a little later. We will need a pint in front of us, which I might come over to town. Is that allowed at Town Hall? We'll sing the Parting Glass as you're leaving. How's that? The entire membership extends its very best wishes for your future good fortune. We're signed today at the State House, December 8th, by Bob DeLeo, the Speaker of the House, and myself. We look forward, Pat O'Connor and I, we do everything together, and we said in the drive down that we look forward to coming to Cork, to come and to be meeting with each of you when we get to sign we're putting that together, right? Yeah, Patricia, absolutely. Is that coming together? So we'll make sure we'll have that. Mr. Mayor, on behalf of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, it's such a pleasure to meet you, and appreciate having the opportunity to present this to you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim. Now I'd like to welcome up Mayor Seamus McGrath, Councilman Declan Hurley, who's the chair of the Western District, and Chief Executive Tim Lucy, please, to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Marty. Good evening, or good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure that we visit Scituate and that we are commencing a process here, I suppose, and signing the Friendship Pact today. We so far have had outstanding hospitality and welcome, and I want to thank you on behalf of all of us. There are 5 of us who came from Ireland, but we're joined by 2 other characters as well who came with us, Lord Mayor of West Roxbury, Richie Gormley. I'm sure Richie is known to many of you, and I don't think he needs any introduction, but I have to say, and I have to put on the record, he's been absolutely outstanding to us since we arrived. He has bent over backwards in providing us with hospitality, a warm welcome, and facilitating us in so many different ways. So we're indebted to you, Richie, and thank you very much. We also have Mr. John Cronin, who hails from Cork. And he's head of our socialising committee, I think. And I have to say, he's doing an outstanding job as well. So John, we're delighted we met you. But no, on a serious note, I suppose, look, we had a wonderful tour of Scituate this morning. It's an incredibly impressive place. I think it's clear, you know, we heard the figures in relation to the Irish heritage, and it is the town which has the largest density of Irish people who are essentially from an Irish heritage point of view, and that's clear, I think, when you go around Scituate. It is absolutely a town which I think we can connect with. We have many parallels and similarities. I think we share many similar values. Obviously are on the water, and where you're going to be signing this Friendship Pact with is the West Cork Municipal District, which is also, of course, surrounded by the water. We are an island nation, after all, and water is very important to us. But I think we will share an awful lot of shared values, I suppose. And I know you have a fishing industry here, I suppose, and you use the water from a recreational point of view, such as sailing, rowing, and all of that. And that's something that's very strong in West Cork as well. So I think from a tourist point of view, from both of our perspectives, hopefully what we're doing today will generate some exchange of people on both sides. And we certainly will give you a very warm welcome when you visit Cork, because tourism is important to us. It's an important industry for us in Cork, and it's something that the County Council is placing a very strong emphasis on now, and we're putting a lot of resources into trying to attract visitors into the area, and we've been quite successful in doing that. I think there's been over 8 million people visited Ireland alone this year, which is incredible, and Cork is close to 2 million of those, I understand. So it's an important economic activity for us. But this isn't just about economics, it's also about sharing a culture, sharing an identity, and of course we are very proud of the Irish heritage here in the United States, and I suppose we've always known Massachusetts has been a very strong base for the Irish, and Boston, but when you come here I think you're overwhelmed by the extent of it. And we have a senator with the name Patrick O'Connor, which I mean that sounds more Irish than my name. To be quite frank about it, and of course the state representative James Cantwell, who introduced himself as Jim, I think. So, and that is my first name as well. Seamus is the Gaelic for James and Jim. So the connections are massive. And look, we're signing a Friendship Pact, and it's an honour for me as mayor to do it. When you're the mayor of the county, it's a 12-month position. You're there for 1 year, so it moves along fast. It's a pleasure for me and an honour that I am the mayor that's signing this Friendship Pact here today. And I know it's a relationship we'll try to evolve over time and develop and strengthen, and that's important for us. So, look, without further ado, I think maybe Declan Hurley as the chairperson of the West Cork Municipal District. And just, I suppose, a brief word on that. The municipal district is one of 8 districts in Cork County. I suppose Scituate is a town, whereas the municipal district is made up of several towns. We have some towns such as Skibbereen, Clonakilty, Dunmanway, Bantry, all towns with unique identities within their own right, I suppose, but also sharing many aspects. We have very good food, very well known for food, for the arts, for literary, for culture, and of course good music, good singing. And Councillor Alan Coleman is a good singer in his own right. So it's a great location, and it's a large geographical area in comparison to Scituate, I suppose, and it makes up a lot of different towns. But maybe I think as this relationship develops, maybe Scituate will identify with one town in particular, while the formal agreement will be with the municipal district. and that's the way it has to be from our point of view. I think Scituate might identify with one town over time and try to build that relationship and make a stronger connection. So I think maybe that's the way this will go ultimately. But look, from my point of view, again, it is an honour. I want to extend an invitation to you here in Scituate as well, to come to Cork. If you can do it during my time as Mayor, I'll certainly give you a very, very warm welcome. I'm there until the end of June next year, so you need to start organising that. But no, you have a 5-person select board, and if as many of you can come, perfect. And the town administrator, of course, Patricia, who I know has done a lot of work behind the scenes on this Friendship Pact as well, in association with Sharon Corcoran on our side, who's our Director for Economic Development and Tourism. So look, again, it's an honour, and I'm delighted to do it. I look forward to the formal signing, and we get some photographs, I'm sure, of that. So look, thank you again for the very warm welcome. It has been outstanding. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Mayor. And I'd like to concur with everything Mayor McGrath has just said. I'm delighted to be here with you today here in Scituate, representing the West Cork Municipal District. And back, I think it was before the summertime, maybe May, June, when we got the first news that the request had come to us for the Friendship Agreement, we were delighted and excited to think that we had been chosen as an area or a district to be twinned with, or to be, I suppose, a friendship with. And I'm looking forward to going back to West Cork and telling my other fellow 8 representatives what I've seen here, who I've met, and certainly the similarities are there, and it's something we can forge from today on. It's been referred to as the Irish Riviera, but certainly West Cork is the maritime Riviera. And you would as Mayor said, you'd have to come and experience that, because we have a lot of similarities, be it tourism and culture and economic, I suppose, diversity, but certainly the fact that we're here today, I think, is the start of a beautiful friendship going forward. And I think from the point of view of we being here for the last 4 days, we already feel at home here in Scituate and in Boston, and I suppose the greater Massachusetts area, because the amount of people that we've met in the last 4 days with Irish descendancy is absolutely fantastic. And we have to say that the red carpet has been rolled out in every aspect, and certainly, as the Mayor has said, we want to wish you a very warm welcome to West Cork between now and hopefully before the end of the Mayor's tenure. And we will be rolling out the red carpet to you as well. And I suppose we are the nation of 100,000 welcomes, and I want to, at this point, extend that to you, and look forward to seeing you in West Cork between now and the end of June. So, thank you once again. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to stand up when all the speeches have been done, isn't it? There's nothing much left to say. I just, as the Chief Executive of the organisation, a few very simple words. First of all, I didn't expect to be speaking, but neither did I expect to be singing Irish songs at 1 o'clock this morning in a bar in Quincy. That, I think that set the scene for today's event. Just to put this into perspective, I suppose, a number of towns in Cork County have twinning agreements with some time, but actually I'm sure it must be 10 or 12 years since we actually signed a formal friendship agreement of this nature with a town such as Scituate, and with an American town as well. We did actually, interestingly, only in the past number of weeks, the Mayor and myself signed a memorandum of understanding actually with Jiangsu province in China. That has 80 million people. Wow. So all of a sudden we come here to where there's 30,000 people. But this really, this will... We feel more at home here. We feel absolutely, completely more at home here. And I suppose where we'd like to see this going is we look at the fantastic relationship that's there between Newport, Rhode Island and Kinsale, which is a superb twinning arrangement over a number of years, with visits to and froing, probably on a regular basis, to be honest with you, every year, if not twice a year. And very much built around the culture, around the sailing, around the food, and generally around people, and people engaging and celebrating what we all have together. It was interesting as well today, I suppose, when I came in here and I met a lady whose mother is Lucy and has the same surname as myself. And indeed last year, on a visit here with our former Mayor of the county, Councillor John Paul O'Shea, who isn't here with us today, we were down and met the Mayor of Cambridge, and interestingly this guy comes over to me and he introduced himself as Tom Lucy. I'm Tim Lucy, and he was a director of strategic international relations in Harvard University, which was quite amazing. So there are incredible links, obviously, in the names around here. Patrick O'Connor, I had an uncle, Paddy O'Connor, who said. So when you come to Ireland, you'll be Paddy instead of Patrick. But certainly, in terms of Cork County Council putting its resources behind this, we look forward to doing so. Certainly, growing our tourism base is a real strategic opportunity for us, and certainly out here, when we come out here, I can just look at, villages at home, the likes of Baltimore, the likes of Schull, the likes of Glandore, the sailing, the fishing, the seafood, all of that. We have so much in common. So let's move on. Let's not dream too much. We'll take it step by step, and I'm sure it'll be a fantastic relationship, and a sustainable one is the most important. Thank you.
I'd like to have our town administrator, Patricia Van Casey, come up and say a few words, please.
Thank you. I feel, as of Italian descent, I'm kind of in a minority. But my husband, Mr. Fitzgibbons, and daughter Erin would not agree, so just had to throw that in. So I obviously share what we've all said, and I won't belabor what I think is pretty evident. It's such a pleasure to be able to show this town off to our visitors and to everybody. Sometimes we take for granted what we have, and when we get to see it and share it with others, we can pause and say, wow, we're pretty lucky. And this is a great day. This is a fun day from the drudgery sometimes of the office work, to be able to make new friends, have new opportunities, and come together for something that's really, truly wonderful. When I have an odd job, because everywhere you go, you're in a town or a city. And I don't know if Mr. Lucy shares this, but you're always looking at things in terms of how the town is operating. You're looking at the roads, you're looking at the water systems, you're looking at the street lights. You're always saying, oh boy, those are terrible, or oh, we should do that, or that's a great idea. My husband says, get your municipal Trish hat off, because that's what I am everywhere we go. And so I'm always looking at how towns provide services, public safety, emergency services, hospitals, banks, whatever. So I do want to share this little anecdote with you that some of you know, but I was in last year in May, I was in Ireland with my family, and we flew into, and we were in the second in line at Blarney Castle to kiss the Blarney Stone 10 minutes before it even opened. We were up, in and out, kissed the Blarney Stone down, walking around the grounds, and my husband fell. And 10 minutes later, we were driving to Wilton and spent our first day in Ireland at the Cork University Hospital. So I want to thank you very much, because Municipal Trish says you have very excellent services, and the streets were lovely, and I didn't expect to be driving so quickly on the right side of the road, and everybody was very kind to us for our whole day at the hospital. So I just want to share that story. The Pact, which we have, I think, copies of people after we sign, has lots of wonderful opportunities for cultural exchanges, educational exchanges, business exchanges, and we're very, very excited to move forward with that. And I just wanted to remind the selectmen that are here that I was specifically mentioned as being included in the trip over to Cork. So I'm going to hold you that too. And thank you very much again.
Thank you, Tricia. First, I do want to say thank you to the delegation that traveled all this way to be in Scituate. The USA and Ireland have always had a special relationship, and what we're able to do today on a local level is to be able to bring our towns together, or our areas together. Myself, I ended up in Scituate in the 1960s. We came down and visited. I grew up as Mr. Gormley was saying, are you OFD? And so everybody knows what OFD is. That means originally from Dorchester. Now, Dorchester is an area of Boston which at one time, I'm sure, was the most heavily Irish populated area. So through the years, people that lived in the Dorchester area as well as West Roxbury, they ended up, they ventured down to Scituate. Some people really at that time couldn't really afford to go to Cape Cod. So I think a lot of people from the area summered in Scituate, and then eventually some of them have either moved down here to buy summer homes or actually called it their home. As we've been saying, the Irish Riviera, just under 48% Irish heritage in this town, which is really pretty amazing. I grew up in a very Irish family. I didn't know really until I was about 7 or 8 there was anything other than Irish music. All my grandparents, it was Irish all the time, and I spent a lot of time with those folks. And I remember growing up, and I was sort of the geeky kid that listened to Irish music when everybody else was listening to everything else. So, and I'm actually very proud of that. As we said, our year-round population here, I should say, it's 18,000, it jumps to 30,000, which obviously is a pretty heavy increase. And as you got to see in the tour today, with the fishing pier, we've got a nice fishing industry here. I wish we could grow it a little bit more, as we can work with our representatives in the state to try and work on some of the regulations to help our fishing industry. And I know everybody's aware that it was a very Irish mossing was a big industry here. In Boston, there would be signs for when the Irish arrived, no Irish need apply. And that didn't happen in Scituate. Scituate people came down here and they were welcomed and again, Larry Chesia did a beautiful job of explaining this. But the idea of why people really liked Scituate is that they were welcomed with open arms. So just as a little bit of our heritage, we have I believe it's the second or third largest Irish St. Patrick's Day parade in March. Just shortly after Christmas, it becomes a big deal. Everybody gets involved. We have as we told you earlier, we have a mock mayor's race, and the present mayor is my wife, Mary Kelly O'Toole.
We have Jean too. Jean?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So, and then Brian Houlihan, who hails from Cork as well. And it's a nice time because everybody gets involved. There's a lot of community participation, and it raises a lot of money for the parade. So it's a really great town, and we're certainly proud of it, and we look forward to everything we have coming forward with you folks. So I was just going to say, Mayor Seamus, if you wouldn't mind coming up, I'm going to actually read the pact, and then you can read it in Gaelic. No, I'm just kidding.
I think we should do it the other way around.
So, between the County of Cork, which is West Cork Municipal District, and the town of Scituate, Massachusetts, this is a friendship pact. Whereas the USA and Ireland have had a long tradition of friendship and cooperation that favors relationships and exchanges between the people of our countries, and whereas Western civilization and democratic ideals are deeply rooted in both our communities and represent a rich heritage to share and to preserve, and whereas both communities recognize the advantages of a mutual agreement and share in the belief that a sister city relationship between Scituate and the County of Cork, and specifically its West Cork Municipal District, will be beneficial to the people of both environs at the economic, social, educational, and cultural levels. And whereas partnerships will be nurtured by promoting mutual business development, commercial and professional exchanges, sharing the advances in business and education, and whereas we anticipate our relationship also will grow through youth exchanges, cultural development, tourism, and other important activities that will be beneficial to the life of our two localities. And whereas this partnership will provide a deeper understanding of each other's lives and traditions while finding common elements that link the two, both Scituate and West Cork Municipal District of the County of Cork are ready for growth in many areas and can mutually work to achieve our goals together. Now therefore, on this day, we solemnly pledge to maintain permanent ties between the government of our localities by way of developing a twinning agreement to foster dialogue, exchanges, and experiences, and to implement the best of our ability joint actions that mutually enrich the citizens of our localities, to encourage and to support exchanges between our citizens in order to develop, through better mutual understanding and effective cooperation, a lasting friendship between people of all ages and interests in our regions. And it will be signed this 8th day of December 2016 in the town of Scituate, Massachusetts, in Plymouth County.
Perfect.
So let's sing a song.
And then we get to do it all over again for one original for you as well. Here you go.
John, have you any joke to lighten the mood?
Just thinking about that, it's like it's signing all of this quiet. Is it real? Must be. It's like I never have Coleman so quiet.
I think they realise, they're stuck with us.
What have we done?
You want to frame that much?
Thank you. Now, before we adjourn this, you're going to have to give us a song now, Mr. Coleman there.
Oh, Danny boy.
You'll have to give me a few bottles of bud first.
We'll do a photo with him.
Pipes need to be lubricated.
He has it there.
Someone taking for us, yeah, we get the photo.